Hi everyone and welcome to another book review video. I'm Sophie and this is Book Reviews by Sophie. Today's book is The Push by Ashley Audrain. The genre is thriller and definitely leans on the domestic and psychological side of the genre. This book centers on our main character, Blythe. Blythe is happily married to Fox, her husband, and despite her own rocky and unstable relationship with her mother growing up, she's excited to have children and be the mother she never had. Blythe is positive she can be a great mother. When her first daughter, Violet, comes along, Blythe is prepared to shower her with love and adoration, but something isn't right. As time goes on, Blythe becomes surer and surer that something is off with Violet. She doesn't feel that maternal bond she thought she would, and she's convinced that Violet isn't a normal child. Fox is sure that Blythe is exaggerating, pushing Blythe further over the edge. Then, their second child, Sam, is born, and everything comes together. Blythe finally feels that love for Sam that she so desperately wanted to feel for Violet. But when their lives are blown up in 1 second, everything for Blythe changes. Told in alternating timelines, covering Blythe as well as her mother and grandmother, The Push is a peek into what can go wrong with motherhood. Specifically looking at the bond between mother and daughter. Read this book and decide for yourself. Is it all in Blythe's head, or is there something truly wrong with Violet? Now let's talk about my thoughts. I loved this book. My rating is a 5 out of 5 stars for The Push. I think this book does an amazing job of exploring the possible negative side of motherhood that isn't really talked about. It's also interesting to see how the title of mother can change the dynamics of a relationship as well. The relationships and connections in this book are so fascinating and well written. They definitely helped me feel connected myself to this book. It was really interesting to get to read from Blythe's perspective, as well as to see what life was like for her as a young child. On that note, something unique about this book is how it's written in multiple timelines. In this way, you are better able to understand Blythe's view of motherhood, based on the lives of her mother and grandmother. Despite this book being more of a domestic thriller, it has a good deal of twists and jaw-dropping moments. And at no point was I sure it was going to happen next. I absolutely couldn't put this book down. There was just something about the way that the complicatedness of a mother-daughter relationship was shown that I literally couldn't tear my eyes from the page. While Blythe definitely isn't a hero and is far from the perfect mother, it was really cool and interesting to be able to kind of get into her head and see things from her perspective. Now let's talk about one of the major messages in this book. Of course, one major message is the bond between mother and daughter and how complicated that bond can be. Blythe desperately wanted to be there for Violet, but perhaps she was just repeating the cycle she had learned from her mother, and her mother had learned from her grandmother. This is shown in this quote on page 293. You know, there's a lot about ourselves that we can't change. It's just the way we're born. But some parts of us are shaped by what we see and how we're treated by other people, how we're made to feel. I don't want you learning to be like me, but I don't know how to teach you to be anyone different. How much of your past and even your parents' past can affect you? This idea is heavily explored in The Push. Now on to who I would recommend this book to. As I said, I absolutely loved reading this book, so I think everyone should read it. It's important to know going into this book that you're not going to get a heart-pounding thriller, but more of a psychological look at the intricacies of the mother-daughter bond. With that being said, this book is amazing, and I highly encourage you to read it. That's all for this book review. Thank you so much for watching my review on The Push by Ashley Audrain. Stay posted for another book review by Sophie. Bye!